Okay, we're gonna do something a little different in this particular segment. First of all, this is being recorded on June 18th, which is Father's Day. So I want to give a shout out to all the dads that's out there in the world doing what needs to be doing to take care of their own and you know m- thriving and growing their legacy. So I just want to give that out there. Second, this particular one is going to be broadcast and aired next on Monday, which is June 19th, which means Juneteenth. So this is going to be that's why this is a special segment because this is all about Juneteenth. So we're gonna start with asking a question, and the question is going to be, why do we think it's important? Why do we think music is important to the Black community? Excuse me about that. But well, I'm going to get ready for the next segment, throw the music on, and then we can start. So bear with me. I am your host and DJ for today. Um, this is also going to be a good segment, so I hope you guys bear with me. I definitely have my little cheat sheet to guide me through this because I really wanted to bring this home to this particular question that I asked. And I'm going to ask this question again. Why do you think music is important to the Black community? And that should be something that people in our community should think about because music has played a very, very particular role in our lives. You know, we're talking about as far as Africans when we coming in to the new world, of course, as slaves, and then we have music to take us to those rough times to what's going on today. So we're gonna chop things up, break things down, and we're gonna do it in about five. So in other words, I'm gonna be giving you five reasons why, of course, I that that a question entails why it's important that music was a particular part, a standard, a down home part of the Black community. So without further ado, let's get to it with the first reason. The first reason is cultural expression, and I'm going to go by my little notes. So it reads as follows: Music has long been a powerful medium for cultural expression, allowing individuals to convey their experiences, emotions, and aspirations. In the struggle, triumphs, and experiences of Black people throughout history, it serves as a form of storytelling, preserving and passing down oral traditions, cultural values, and collective memories. So, we always say that music is a form of expression. Most people, if you can't express yourself through words, other people, especially people who's in the musical realm, can express themselves through music. Now, when it comes to music in our community, we had to have a form of expression. Like I said, especially from the the struggles that we dealt with, from chattel slavery to Jim Crow to to red line. I mean, all the struggles that the Black community had to face throughout the decade. Music was our engine. It was our saving grace that kept us pushing on through so we can make the changes that will make it better for us as a people. So so you know, culturally we needed music, and music needed us. And as a matter of fact, as you will find out later, the music also has impact other cultures and other nationalities and other realms. So, you know, if you want to learn about the grassroots of where music originated and how it spanned through what's going on today, look no further than the Black community. So, on to reason two: cultural commentary and activism. So, it reads: music has often served as a platform for social commentary and activism within the Black community. Through music, artists have raised awareness about racial inequality, social injustice, and systematic oppression. Genres such as blues, jazz, and gospel, R&B and hip hop and reggae has addressed issues inspiring movements and promoting I'm sorry, it addresses issues like civil rights, police brutality, poverty, and discrimination, fostering conversations, inspiring movements, and promoting social change. Now, for those who don't believe that, go back to the days when blues started, when jazz started. And the one form of music I can say, you know, in on honesty, that really hit home, especially when it came to, you know, racial injustice, police brutality, and things. And it was rap, was hip hop, the beginning of rap and hip hop, because they spoke about their experiences in the streets. They spoke about the police, brutality they was going through. They spoke about the the racial injustice, you know, how police was treating black people at those times. I mean, especially what happened with the Bronx riots and what happened to Rodney King and how that sparked into Russia. I mean, it was a lot of unease that was going on in some of the major cities. You know, I mean, like L.A., like New York, Chicago. I mean, all the major cities was going through these particular changes, and hip hop was telling that story on what was going on. In that realm. How the black community was facing those injustices and what they was doing to change it. I mean, one of my favorite hip hop groups of all time would be Public Enemy. If any group that definitely express about about civil rights, about police brutality, about injustice, about oppression, that group was Public Enemy, because any Public Enemy rap song that you hear, that's what they spoke about. They spoke about our plight. They spoke about our struggles. They spoke about our trials. They spoke about our tribulations. They spoke about the mistreatment of our of black men, the mistreatment of black women. I mean, they spoke all those things. The pain, the hurt that we was going through, especially the times of for the civil rights movement, of course, the times of Jim Crow. And this was all right after slavery. We were still getting mistreated, and that music, those rappers, especially my man Chuck Key, who was the front runner of Public Enemy, he spoke about those things, and those things brought and of course you had other forms of music that spoke within those terms. I mean, gospel always spoke about, our religion, our close walk with God, things of that nature. Reggae also had a true form of that when it comes to, what was going on in Jamaica and the injustice that was going on there, and the Rastafari's and things of that nature. So culturally, I mean, when it came to activism, yes, music had a profound part of that. So let's go to reason three. Talking about community, cohesion, and celebration. And it reads, music has the power to bring people together and foster a sense of community. In the Black community, music has played a central role in various gatherings, celebrations, and events, from church choirs to family reunions, from Black parties to music festivals. Music serves as a uniting force, helping to strengthen social bonds, create a sense of belonging, and celebrate shared culture heritage. Now, this is the great part of I love this third reason is because that's what goes on today. I mean, music has always been a celebratory reason to get for Black people to gather together one place and just enjoy each other's company. you know the food will be blazing, drinks will be flowing around, everybody's sitting out conversating. Probably we'll talk about way back when. There's you can all the gatherings, you always have the your elders, and then the teens and stuff like that, and then of course you sit back, especially as as a young man, as a man myself. I love going to small gatherings where I can listen to the elders of how they went through, in their days, in their heydays, and the knowledge that you can get from that. What music can bring those together. I mean, and last night talk. I mean, I live in Chicago, so of course, summertime we always have the house music festival. We always have blues festival, jazz festival, gospel festival, and that still goes on to till this day. So musically, the city is always alive and vibrant, and everybody's coming together, just dancing and singing and enjoying the vibes. So it's music always brings that inner feeling out, so everybody can become as one and just enjoy, just share the joy of whoever's playing, whether somebody's rapping or somebody's playing on the instruments, or someone's singing, or if someone's DJ on the decks. It doesn't matter, music brings that out to everyone. That's why music is so universal, because when it comes to music, it's one particular love for sound and the feeling that you get from that sound. So let's go to reason four: entrepreneurship and economic empowerment. And it reads, the music industry has provided avenues for entrepreneurship and economic empowerment, sorry, within the Black community. Historically, Black artists and musicians face significant barriers and discrimination in accessing mainstream platforms and opportunities. However, they have persisted and thrived by creating their own record labels, production companies, and distribution networks. Through music, Black artists have been able to build successful careers, create wealth, and provide opportunities for others within their community. Now, this is pretty true. Now, I would like to let you know that for those who don't know, you know, especially the part they're talking about, that black artists and musicians face significant barriers and discrimination, accessing mainstream platforms and opportunities. One example is rock and roll. I mean, of course, for years, everybody thought that, Elvis is the king of rock and roll, but Elvis wasn't the one that created rock and roll. Before Elvis, there was Little Richard. Before Elvis, there was a Chuck Berry. Now, those were the originators of rock and roll. But of course, when, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it, when white people start getting their hands on something and they take it over, then they want to claim it as their own, and then they'll try to sweep the true artists under the rug. And that's did what happened with Little Richard and both Chuck Berry, because both of those artists, unfortunately, they ended up broke. They died with no money, whereas Elvis, still has Graceland where people still visit till this day, and their estate is still making money. Now, you know, what's up with that? I would like to know. So, talk about barriers. I mean, when it comes to music, black people has been dealing with this kind of stuff throughout the entire realm of music. Anytime we come up with something, anytime we come out with something, somebody wants to take it, claim it as theirs, you know, twist up the product, then they sell it out to the mainstream. They make money, and and then the black person or black people who created it in the first place get left out in the cold. That has happened throughout all the history when it comes to music. But what kind of changed that realm? And I'm gonna say kind of because unfortunately, you still have these big, huge record companies who still want to throw their hands on the cookie jar. But you did have some artists who decide to take control on their art. I mean, Prince was one of the artists that I know that you know when he got tired of Warner Brothers telling him how to, tell him what direction he wants to go to with his art, he rebelled. And once he rebelled, he got out of his contract, and then he was able to be the artist that he wanted to be on his own. I mean, and then you have some good rappers that decide to branch out on own and also got into other entities. I mean, look at P. Diddy. I mean, he ain't a rapper per se, but what he did was he followed the Russell Simmons rule book on how to become a successful entrepreneur, you know, you know, besides being a rapper and a producer. You know, I mean, of course, everybody know P. Diddy started the Sean John line, which made him millions and stuff like that. And then Jay-Z did the same with his line, and then Dr. Dre, of course, when he came out with Beats by Dre, and then when Apple bought it and they paid him a good, I said $3 or $4 billion of it, that branched him off. So, you know, so what artists is learning how to do now, they're not relying on just making money with their music and through, and also they're mostly owning their own labels, some running their own distribution. So I think artists nowadays are learning the craft and taking over their music so no one can take it from them and own it and tell them what to do with their art. So that's one of the things I can say, that when it came to black people, especially black artists, is learning the power of entrepreneurship, and they learning how to take control their own music. I mean, one of the famous rappers who's done that, I said most so than any, was Master P. Master P came out with his own label. He came out with his, he sold his own records on his own. He did everything within himself, and he built his own empire from scratch. So that's a true power of, you know, some man who saw that, hey, I can do it my way and don't have to rely on no major record label or anything. And he did it his way, and he became a success because of it. So now enough of that. Let's get to reason 5. Oh, as a matter of fact, it's the last reason of why do we think music is important to the Black community is influence on popular culture. And it reads, Black music has had a profound impact on popular culture worldwide. Numerous genres that originated from the Black community, such as jazz, blues, rock and roll, hip hop, R&B, and house music, have shaped and influenced the broader musical landscape. Black artists have introduced new sounds, styles, and dance moves, which have been embraced and initiated across cultures. This cultural influence has helped break down barriers, challenge stereotypes, and foster greater appreciation and understanding of Black culture. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. When it comes to music, Black people created it. You know, Latin music came from Black people, a la African beats. Rock and roll came from Black music. Okay, go check out the history of Chubby Checker and and Little Richard. In fact, there was a Black rock band, which I would say to this till this day got the biggest shaft because of the fact that they was Black and they played heavy metal, and that was Living Color. This band played the music that his forefathers originated, and they couldn't go, and they wasn't able to go as far as the mainstream as their white rock legends and counterparts. Now, to me, that is the biggest travesty, music, when it comes to music. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this is because, I mean, I like rock. I like all forms of rock. And when I listened to Living Color, and I remember when I saw them on MTV for the first time, I was amazed. I was like, oh my goodness, a Black rock band. That is cool. And they are good. Not knowing until later on that Black people was the one that created rock and roll. Don't get it twisted. Don't let no one tell you any different. Black people created rock and roll. And I'm gonna say another thing. When it comes to EDM stands from house music. House music was created by a Black man. I'm gonna say it again. EDM is another form, and it stems from house music. House music was created by a Black man. Don't get that twisted as well. You know, not trying to sound egregious or, trying to throw any shade, but it is what it is, and I'm keeping a buck. You can research it because I have, and the proof is in the pudding, you know. And when it comes to house music, then I'm proud to say, because I'm a house DJ, you know, Black people created A music, a not just a music, we created a movement, a genre that extends throughout the world. I mean, when it comes to house music, there's so many different genres of it. You know, you got Afro, you got deep, you got classic, you got jacking, you got soulful, you got even Latin house, you got disco house, you also got new disco that's part of that. You got funky house. I mean, the list goes on and on. So many genres to name, but it all stands from one huge umbrella, which is house music. And that music was created by none other than the godfather of house, the late, great Frankie Knuckles. So don't let anybody tell you different that when it comes to music, black people created it. Now let's do the recap. This I'm gonna read something here in my little sheet, and then I'm going to add my little 2 cents in it. Okay, it reads: It's important to note that the black community is diverse and not monolithic. So individual experiences and perspectives may vary. However, music remains a powerful and integral part of the culture fabric within the black community, providing a means of expression, empowerment, and connection. What I want to say, and this is me on a personal note, when it comes to music and the black community, one cannot be spoken without the other. It doesn't matter what genre you're talking about. You know, you can talk about jazz, you can talk about gospel, you can talk about blues, you can talk about rock and roll, you can talk about rap, you can talk about house music, you can talk about reggae, you can talk about Latin. You know, you can even talk about techno or electronic music if you want to expand that. That all came from one. It came from black people. So in the black community should stand up and be proud that we contribute something so powerful and so profound in the world. And no matter what happens, no matter how people try to spin it, we know that if it wasn't for the music we created, the music today would not even exist. That means today's music would not even be thought of if it wasn't for people in the African and the black aspera wouldn't have the know it all and the creative juices to create the music that you listen to every day of your life. Whatever need to get out of this segment, I was glad to do this. It was something that I wanted to do, and especially for a special event like Juneteenth. I got the idea because I was part of a African descendants group at the job that I work in, and I also had the pleasure to play for the people that was listening. I was screening the line on Twitch, and it was so fun to and so profound, and it made me feel good to know that you know I'm part of a community that created the music that we listen to every day of our lives. So I'm so proud to be part of that, and I'm so proud to celebrate something that's impactful as Juneteenth. Juneteenth is so important when it comes to Black people, is because it's that time that we was of bondage. Okay, no matter what you want to say about what's going on today, the political and the social and all the other stuff, all we know is that now, as far as I'm concerned, we have the destiny in our hands. We have the right to choose how we want to live. So do it let's do it with positivity. Let's do it with respect. Let's do it with honor, and let's enjoy the fruits of our labor, which is music, because music is going to be here forever. I mean, most of us can be long gone and forgotten, but the music that we created will live on, and generations after us can sit back, relax, and know that they can listen to something that was created some time ago. I hope you like it. Um, if you enjoyed what you listened to, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you follow me on, I have my shows on Twitch. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All you have to do is look under, search under House Head Speaks. You can also check out my website, which is www.househeadspeaksdj.com. That also has all my information, schedules of my shows, and the like. You can also check out my gear, um, the merch that I'm wearing. As a matter of fact, I'm wearing something that is a quote of Frankie Knuckles, and you might not be able to read it, but it says, "Sometimes the music plays itself." A good DJ, a friend of mine from Toronto, told me that Frankie Knuckles himself said this quote, and I wanted to put it on a T-shirt, and it's available right now. So all you have to do is go to my gear website, which is www.househeadspeaksdesigns.com, and you can purchase one of these. So until the next time we meet, stay safe, be safe. Celebrate Juneteenth, knowing that the destiny is in our hands, and knowing what we have created that still transcends to this day. So, peace and love.